So my son had a basketball game yesterday, and it was like 2 hours north, and it was at a college or a university. I don't know. It was at a place called Embry-Riddle.
Oh, yeah. Isn't that the flying school?
Yeah, it's aeronautical.
My brother wanted to go there.
Aeronautical school. It's called Embry-Riddle Aeronautical.
Yeah.
And they have a basketball team. So these are all college kids, and they had a pretty good season last year. Most of the guys came back, and it's cool that my son's team gets to play those guys. My son's team mostly is the 17-year-olds, And so the coach, who happens to be Peyton's dad, sent out an email or text saying the school says at this game, no spectators because of COVID, and every kid's getting COVID tested. So before the game, so nobody was allowed to go. Like parents are planning on going and everything, and the day before, nobody's allowed to go. And so they were taking a van up there, and then the guy who runs the whole basketball program texted me. I was donating blood yesterday. He texted me. He says, "Hey, do you have a second?" And I was sitting there donating my blood, and I called. I said, "What's up?" And he goes, "We have a spot. We need a camera guy to film the game, and they've never filmed the game like before. I'm always there filming stuff." And they go, "If you want to go, you could be the camera guy."
Loophole.
Right. He goes, "I told the team that a third coach or something like that." And I'm like, "Yeah, sure." But I was also kind of queasy, donating my blood. So I was which had never been queasy, but I was also fasting. I hadn't had anything yet to eat, right? So I was kind of like, I go, "Hey, let me text you back." Cause I was like, oh. So then I went home and I lay down for like 10 minutes, and I got up and I'm like, okay, I'm going to go. And they had already left. So it was like 2 or something. And I get up and I tell my wife, I go, "Hey, they said I could go." And then I felt kind of, I was like, "Do you want to go with me?" Right? Now she can't come. And she goes, "Okay, I'll go with you." So she gets in the car. It's a 2-hour drive. And I'm stressing because what if they don't let her in, right? And she's like, "Well, then if they don't let me in," she goes, I'll just sit in the parking lot, right? And I'll just.
Yeah, that's nice.
She's like, I'm like, okay. And I'm stressed. And now I'm thinking about how stressful I'll be if I get there and she's in the parking lot. What do I? Anyway, so we get to the game, and we park, and she goes, "I'm going to come in with you." And I'm like, "Oh my God, I just feel like the stress of, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, but you're not loud. You're not filming the game.
Yeah, and I'm like, I'm the cameraman. No, so she's
She could be like, "Cameraman assistant. I have all of the equipment."
Exactly.
They're what equipment?
I don't have the equipment's already there. No, they had an iPad, and it's in a duffel bag, and the team already brought it. I'm just going to film it there, and I'm all stressed out that I don't want to put Kemp's coach, Peyton's dad, in a weird position when 2 of us come walking in. Everything's being COVID tested. There's all this, protocols and stuff. And then when I walk in and I got 2 people, there's 2 people with me that it's going to be a big problem, right? So Blake walks in, and Blake's walking ahead of me. She's like walking like she's the friggin' boss. And she walks into the gym, and it's so laid back. And her and I both walk, and there's bleachers. So we sit at the bleachers, and I have a tripod. I set the tripod. I don't know how to work the freaking tripod. And the legs are flying around the side. And it's an iPad, and it's got a case on it. And I don't have an iPad. I've never had an iPad.
You haven't?
No.
In all these years?
No. And so I'm turning on the iPad, and I'm trying to, and every time I turn it, everything's flipping around sideways. So I finally set up the iPad, and then the coach comes over and says, "Hi." We start talking, and Blake's like, "I'm in." She goes, "I'm in." And I'm like, "Yeah, I guess so." She goes, "I'll do stats. I'll help with the stats. I'll do stats." Right now, there's a player who's injured who's going to do the real stats. But Blake downloaded an app to do stats.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Right?
I didn't even know there was such a thing. That's
so
cool.
She's going to do the stats. So she's sitting next to me, do stats. She goes, "So if anybody says anything, I'll just do stats." I'm like, "Whatever." So I'm really want to focus on filming the game. So it's a few minutes before the game starts, and the coach of the other team who's running the gym's totally empty, comes over. And right when he's walking over to me, I'm like, "Oh God, stress, right? Stress." And he goes, "Hey, I just want to let you guys know that we're not letting any spectators in. And there's a lot of kids from the school that want to come watch the game. We're not letting them in. So we're going to lock all the doors, but just don't panic. If you need to go to the bathroom, you might want to go now. But if you can't go now, you just flip up the switch on the door and you can be able to go." Like, you're a really kind guy, right? And Blake's like, "Well, I'm just here doing stats." So that's what I'm doing here. I'm just doing all the stats for the team, right? I'm like, he's not. Yeah, like
You're
hey,
in.
hey, like he's not questioning what you're doing. I'm just the stats like overly doing like
That's
what
hilarious.
and she's.
like,
I've downloaded an
okay.
app to do stats, and she's holding up her phone, and I'm like, shh, shut up.
He's like, okay. She's like, assists, rebounds. Am I right? Okay.
So uncomfortable.
You
That is
cannot
so
have
funny.
her. If you need her to defend you on a witness stand, you can't because she's gonna fold. She's gonna
Like-
fold under questioning.
He definitely didn't do it.
Yeah. So anyway, we filmed the game. I filmed the game. Everything was just fine, and it was great. But my son had the best game ever, man, against the college team. He had 30 points.
Oh, wow.
Amazing.
That's awesome.
I know.
That's big time.
I know.
If
Against,
she didn't give him extra stats, those are real stats.
no, I was counting. Yeah, I feel.
Blake's like, triple double. Good job, Kimpy.
it's on
Kim
my
had
app.
100 points today.
It's on my app. It's fine.
Yeah, it was great. That
That's
part that
awesome.
was against a college team. You know what I
Yeah, I
mean?
saw it was a close game.
Yeah, it was amazing. That part was amazing. And then, I'm already getting like some parents were mad.
Oh, of course. Well, you get to go.
Yeah, I'm the camera. It's funny, I went my major was telecommunications and film in college. Like that's what my major was. So I was like telling your dad, Peyton, I said, anybody complains. This is what I studied in school. And they're like, how do you turn this on? How does this tripod work?
An iPad? Okay.